Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new video. Now for today we're going to be playing Blue-White Control. But one thing I wanted to clarify before we actually get into our video is that I did not come up with this list. This list belongs to Gabriel Nassif, although I made some small changes due to the wildcard situation I have, but I did not come up with the deck, so I will be leaving the original deck in the description down below, so if you want to play his original version you can do that. And with that out of the way, let's get right into our DeckTech. Now for our DeckTech, we're playing Blue-White Control, and you can already sense the evil. And guys, I have to say this is the most evil deck I've played so far, just because of the way it wins. So first of all, we're playing Kaheera as our companion because it's honestly just an extra card, and as a control deck, sometimes at turn 6 you can't afford to pay 3 mana, hold up a counter spell, and then just like, if they do something you counter spell, if not you just go back to your turn, play Kaheera, everything is fine. So what is this deck trying to do? It's a control deck, so it's trying to get to the long game by playing some removal in the form of Cast Out, Seal Away, Glass Casket, and a lot of board wipes, obviously, like Settle the Wreckage, Shatter the Sky, and Wrath of God. One thing that Nassif has different in his list than mine, he's playing 4 Wrath of God and not 2 Wrath, 2 Shatter, but I do not have enough wildcards to complete that deck. And besides that, I am playing 2 Rogran Triomes and 2 Fabled Passages. He's playing 4 Irrigated Farmlands. So these are the main changes that I made to the deck due to my wildcard situation, but besides that, most of the deck is the same. Besides that, the deck has some counter spells in the form of Censor, and you all know how much I like Censor, because it's first of all a flexible counter spell. It forces your opponent to kind of time walk themselves or not play on curve because they are playing around Censor. And the other reason I like it in this deck is that it fills the graveyard up for Azcanta the Sunken, which we all know how good this card is, especially paired with Teferi, because if you have an active Azcanta on the field with a Teferi, you can activate it on your turn, go to end step, untap it, activate it again. We all know how amazing that feels if you've ever played Blue-White Control. Now, why are we playing Mindstone? Mindstone is essential ramp, especially because we want to get to our win con pretty fast. So what is our win con in this deck besides embleming Teferi, having Castle Ardenvale? Our win con is having Narset on the field and then playing Commit to Memory. So Memory says that each player shuffles their hand, graveyard into their library, and then they draw 7 cards. But if you have a Narset on the field, your opponent will actually only draw 1 card, meaning that you have a hand full of answers and they only have 1 card you have to deal with, so you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And that is the main way for us to win the game. And yes, it's very evil, and that's why I mentioned that it's the most evil deck I've played so far. Now, besides that, Narset is cool because she can dig us either for answers or she can dig for the combo, which is Commit. I think that's all I need to cover. Now, some interactions I like with Scarab God. I mean, not with Scarab God. Sorry guys, Force of Habit. One thing I like with Teferi is that it pairs very well. Sorry for my phone noise. It pairs very well with Field of Ruin, and Field of Ruin also pairs very well with Commit to Memory. Now, why is that? If you Teferi -3 and then you put something on the third of its owner's library, the thing is they're gonna draw it after 3 turns. But if you have a Field of Ruin, what you can actually do is crack Field of Ruin on their turn, and that way you force them to shuffle their deck. And when they shuffle their deck, sure, you might get very unlucky and then they top deck it the next turn, but most of the time you have actually shuffled that threat into their deck and then you're done with it for the next couple of turns. And the same can be said about Commit to Memory, although it puts it second from the top, but it's the exact same interaction. You shuffle it away and then you get rid of it for good. So that's something you should always keep in mind when you're playing this deck. Now, our main card draw form is either Teferi. Narset is kind of a draw engine, but although you're like kind of looking at the cards. And Hieroglyphic Illumination is our main card draw spell, and I really like that card because early on, if you're not making your land drops, if you need more lands or like if you need anything specific, you can always cycle it, and then if you keep it for the long game, you can always pay 4 mana and then activate it. So that's something super interesting about the card. And we could also win the game sometimes with a Shark Typhoon token because once we're very ahead, we can make a Shark Typhoon maybe for 5, win the game in 4 to 5 turns depending on our opponent's life total. And then that should be it. Our last win condition is usually Castle Ardenvale, make a bunch of 1/1 humans, and Castle Ardenvale tokens stack up pretty quickly, so you could win that way. And then we have our Castle Vantress this guy. So beyond that, utility lands also include Blast Zone. And why am I playing 4 Field of Ruin? I think this needs to be adjusted. What is the most annoying card currently? Field of the Dead, and it's a land. So Field of Ruin can get rid of Field of the Dead, and that way you can win and advance pretty quickly. So what is the sideboard? We have 2 Grafdigger's Cage to stop the Goblin decks, and also to stop Bolas the Citadel, because the says players can't cast spells from their libraries, and they're casting a card from their library with Citadel, so that way you stop that. Glass Casket obviously against creature decks, Aether Gust against red or green decks. Now Narset's Reversal is quite an interesting card because you can do so many things with it, but I really like it against discard spells or Thought Distortion, because if you do activate Narset's Reversal, you can bounce back the discard spell to their hand, you can get to look at their hand for free, and you can get to take away the hand disruption spell, so that way you're good. Now we have Dovin's Veto, and Memnarch, if you're watching, this time we're actually playing Veto in our deck, so no need to be sad this time. Timely Reinforcement is quite good against aggressive decks because not only does it gain your 6 life, it also gives you 3 bodies to chump block with, so you can stop one red pretty easily. Mystical Dispute is here against blue decks, and Ashiok is a super interesting card against Field of the Dead decks, because if you read it quite well, it says your opponent cannot search their library, and because of that, Field of the Dead kind of gets worse because you can't use Hour of Promise or Golos to search with it. And the other thing I like about it is that the mill effect is also good for you because you stop their Uro from coming back. And one other cool thing with Ashiok that you could do is that you can turbo out Azcanta. So you could play Azcanta on turn 2, Ashiok on turn 3, mill yourself, you're milling 4 cards, and assuming you have 2 or 3 other cards in the graveyard, you actually have an active Azcanta the next turn. Settle the Wreckage is essential because you kind of need an instant speed way of wrathing the board against Field of the Dead decks. And Elspeth Conquers Death is obviously the best 5-mana removal spell because it can get us back most of our graveyard, including Teferi and Narset, and it's usually here for the grindy mid-range decks. Now, why do we need an instant speed board wipe? Because Field of the Dead decks also play Field of Ruin to stop, funny enough, other Field of the Dead decks, and they also play Fabled Passage, which all can create tokens at the end step. So we need a way to be able to interact with their tokens on their own turn. So that's going to be pretty much it for the DeckTech, guys, but before we get into our games, I would like to please ask you to subscribe because it helps the channel a lot. If you want to help the channel beyond that, you can check out my Patreon link in the description down below. Make sure to like, comment, and once again subscribe, and with that, I'll see you in the games. Going into our first game of Blue-White Control, this hand has a lot of interaction but nothing else, but I wonder if I'm mulligan if I'm going to get something better. The thing is, we can go into Hallowed Fountain field, Mindstone, then turn after cycle this, and I have field to deal with a Field of the Dead deck. Sorry guys, and I have Steal Away and Settle to deal with anything else, so I think we're gonna keep this hand. We're definitely gonna keep this hand, although it's not the best, but it has a lot of potential seeing how many answers we have to how many different decks. Now if he's playing a control deck, we're actually in a very bad spot, but like, let's count on him not playing a creature, a control deck. Alright, he's playing an aggressive deck which we shine a lot against, so I'm very happy about that. Let's just play our Field of Ruin, play our Mindstone, and then we get the pass back. Now, a reminder guys to stay hydrated because you know how important hydration is on my channel. Alright, so we could play the Triome, and I think I'm gonna opt to play the Triome. I want to have as many lands as possible against this matchup, and I also want to have double white for Settle as soon as possible, seeing how he did not play a non-basic currently. Alright, he wants to use Bone Crusher Giant on us, I'm fine with that. Because like now we have Commit to Memory. Actually we don't have Commit to Memory, but we have Seal Away for like the future. So we're fine. We're gonna take one and we're gonna like it. Opponent, do you play a non-basic? You do not. Kaheera. I think I'm fine with Kaheera, honestly. We can commit with our trigger on the stack, so it's fine. Or like with him casting a creature on the stack. We're gonna play our Blast Zone, and then we're gonna pass the turn back to our opponent. And the thing I've mentioned to you before, you can always Field of Ruin whatever you commit, so keep that in mind guys, keep that in mind. So to prevent him from drawing a card, we're gonna commit Kaheera to the second card in his library. And now we're quite happy because we can double spell, we can Field of Ruin, we can't actually Field of Ruin, never mind. I did not notice things correctly. But what we can do is we can Glass Casket, although that stops us from having triple blue for a counter spell. So I wonder what I want to do. Do I want to wait and then seal away at end step, or like seal away on my next turn and have interaction up? That's a good question. I think we're actually going to wait, and probably we're gonna get Kaheera into our hand, and then we can Glass Casket this, and I think that's the best thing for this turn. Yep, I think we have a creature now in our hand. We have seal away for the next turn. Probably the best thing we could have played. And I wonder why opponent does not have a non-basic land. I need to Field of Ruin to get into higher things, but he is not giving me that option. Could play Teferi plus seal away this Bone Crusher Giant and then save Teferi. Although I really want to stop Kaheera because it gives him card advantage, and I don't want him to get some card advantage going on. So I think that's the plan. We could also put 2 counters on Blast Zone, go to our turn, activate it, kill off Kaheera and Bone Crusher Giant. So that's also a line of play that we could have. I'm gonna decide based on if I want to lose a land or not. So we're gonna be taking 5. It's completely fine with me. Let's take our 5 damage, and then opponent goes to play Kaheera. We go to neutralize that, and now we're in quite a good spot, guys. We can play Teferi. Alright, we're in quite a good spot, guys. We play Teferi, and now we plus, and on our end step we actually seal away this Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, we get into a bunch of lands, so I'm happy about that. We don't need our land drops. Put it here, and then we can seal away this Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, now Teferi is most likely going to stay alive, unless he has maybe a Questing Beast in his hand and he draws a green source. Is it Questing Beast time? It is Questing Beast time. Now I'm happy that I got to call it, but I'm not happy that I'm gonna lose my Teferi, guys. I'm gonna be taking a huge chunk of damage as well. I'm gonna be taking 4 damage, we're gonna go down to 5. This alone is lethal, so I'm wondering how happy I am. Let's just go with our Hieroglyphic Illumination, and we draw Censor a turn too late. So we could play Kaheera, hold up, Settle the Wreckage. Yeah, force him to deal with Kaheera. Yeah, that's the plan. Play Kaheera and then hold up, Settle the Wreckage. Pass back to you, opponents. Show us what you can do. Alright, so is it Bone Crusher Giant time? That's fine with me. Now if he attacks us, we just Settle the Wreckage, and we are theoretically fine with that. Settle the Wreckage, or the Wreckage actually. Alright, quite happy about this turn in advance. Now we do have a Bone Crusher Giant we need to deal with, but like we have some draws that can get us out of this spot, guys. We have some draws. Let's just hope he doesn't have another Questing Beast, because if he does, we're in a terrible position. We have an Absorb, so nothing can kill us off the top, and now we can put 2 counters on Blast Zone. Can we put 2 counters on Blast Zone regardless of if we absorb or not? Can we? We can't. 2 counters would cost us. Yeah, we can. So let's just play our Hallowed Fountain tapped, and then let's just pass back. Now, if we top deck Narset, I think we have the option of playing Memory. Grid Spellbreaker is gonna eat a counter spell, because it does need to eat a counter spell. Alright, we are kind of back to this game, although we're subjected to a 2-turn clock. And if he has Embercleave, which he cannot cast, actually he can't have Embercleave now. Alright, let's take 4, and then let's go back to our turn. Please don't play another creature. He plays a good creature, he plays Rekindling Phoenix. We're gonna cycle our Mind Stone. We really need to hit not Shatter this guy. We do not want to Shatter this guy. And no land, no answer. We're gonna have to, let's just Memory. I mean, it's not the decision, but I mean, we don't have any other option. We do not get anything. Let's just go into our second game. Sadly, we lost. Alright, stay hydrated, guys, when you lose. Quite a good thing to do. What do I want? I probably want this time Reinforcement. I probably want my Settle the Wreckage, my Aether Gust, my Glass Casket. Probably counter spells are the thing that should go. I think Azcanta is a bit too slow as well. can take out some Censors because they're quite bad. I think we can keep an Absorb and then take out a Censor and then side in Elspeth Conquers Death. And I think that's the thing I'm gonna go for. Now, Azorius usually has a good time beating Cruel. It's not impossible for you to beat it. And it's actually, by concept, Azorius handles Cruel pretty well. We just did not have the best of draws. And he got the Questing Beast the turn he needed to play it. We're gonna opt to play first, and Sand is horrible, so we're gonna mull it. And why am I constantly drawing my Field of Ruin? I don't know. I really don't know. We're gonna keep this. And I think we take out our Narset. I did not mean to play Field of Ruin, I meant to play this tapped. But oh well. We're gonna play our Hallowed Fountain tapped. Why is he running no basics? I need him to play non-basics, I mean. Triple basics into Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, at least we have now double white for our Wrath of God, but I mean, the hell? Do you really have no one on basics? How are you like, how is your deck consistent? Alright, is this Questing Beast time? It is Kaheera time. I really hate Kaheera in this deck because it gives them card advantage. I hate when these decks get card advantage. Kaheera, no one wants to listen to you. Please do not talk. Do not speak. Let me play my game. Alright, we're gonna probably pass back, and then if he goes for Questing Beast, we cast out Kaheera and then we board wipe on our turn. That will involve me taking a lot of damage, but oh well. Sure. Alright, opponent, what's the next play? Left Strike Beast is fine. Let me force him to activate Kaheera. He does not even activate Kaheera. We're gonna cast out this annoying Abomination that gives him card advantage. And then we're gonna Wrath of God on our turn. Let's just Wrath of God, get rid of this, play our land, pass. We're in a good spot. We're definitely in a good spot. If he goes for Questing Beast, we can Elspeth Conquers Death. Finally, a non-basic. I did not know you play those, opponent. We have 6 lands in play now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we don't have the option of getting Kaheera into our hand and Hieroglyphic. So we're gonna opt just to play Hieroglyphic. Could have also played Kaheera, but I'd rather get into some advantageous card advantage position. Now we could activate Field of Ruin because that costs us 2. It gets us back a land. Yeah, we're gonna activate Field of Ruin. We're gonna wait up until end step. We're gonna wait. All right. Get rid of this Stomping Ground, and now we can activate Hieroglyphic Illumination end step. Heroic Intervention. So it does not destroy his land, but it gets him a land. I mean, or actually, it just makes me lose a Field of Ruin. I mean, not the best of play, but like he took out our Heroic Intervention for this, so do I really mind that? No. He lost his Heroic Intervention just to prevent his land from getting blown up. So I'm quite fine with that. Alright, sure. What else do you have in mind, opponent? Scavenging Ooze is theoretically okay. What else do you have in mind? Can I go to my turn, please? Thank you. Let's just play a Hieroglyphic Illumination. Alright, that feels like a good turn of events for us. So we're gonna play our Teferi. White, blue, and then activate these. Now I am playing Teferi into an active Scavenging Ooze, and Scavenging Ooze can kill the Teferi, but if we get into a Seal Away, potentially we could also deal with that problem. We do not, sadly. But we're gonna just pass, and we can always shatter this guy next turn. So we're in a quite good position, to say the least. Alright, opponent, activate your Ooze in response. It's fine, it's completely fine. Now if he has a Questing Beast, we're dead. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. Why are we dead? Because Scavenging Ooze is currently gonna become a 5/5. And then we have Questing Beast, which is a 4/4. So like we are literally dead to Questing Beast. I forgot to untap my lands. Oops, too bad. Alright, so it seems like just Teferi is dead, so I can live with that. I can really potentially live with that. It's fine. We can take one as well. Let's hope opponent plays something and he extends, so I feel better about this turn. Opponent, what do you play? Play a threat. Opponent has played way too many lands to say the least. Have 1, 2, 3, 4 lands, so I can't shatter and then hieroglyphic. So do I hieroglyphic now? I don't think I have to. Really don't think I have to. So let's just shatter the sky. And let's just pass because he's gonna keep on exiling things from my graveyard, so might as well let him do that. Sure, opponent, anything else? Yes, exile my Wrath of God as well. I think he's playing around Azcanta, but I don't have it in the deck, so I'm very fine with what he's doing. Is it done, opponent? Can we go into our game? No, no, no. You need to take care of my Field of Ruin, because it's quite scary. Anything else? Yes, my Hieroglyphic Illumination. It is a quite scary card, opponent. You need to get rid of it. Now this is where Wrath of God would have been better than Shatter the Sky, but I do not have that many wild cards left, so I am using them quite wisely. And opponent keeps on drawing lands. Prouding Serpopod is fine. We have the Elspeth Conquers Death for that. And it doesn't seem like we're ever gonna get to play this Hieroglyphic, although that's fine. Let's just play our Elspeth Conquers Death, get rid of that. And then pass, put Kaheera into our hand, and then go to his turn. We're in a decent position with the opponent flooding this hard. Clothes is annoying because it kills us in a span of a couple of turns, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine. We are going to be fine indeed. Let's just end the turn. We are in a pickle because this is currently a 4-turn clock on her own. So we didn't need to draw something. Scavenging Goose is okay, we have the seal away for that. Just need a way to deal with this. Let's just Hieroglyphic Illumination. Commit to Memory would be good. That's not a commit to memory, but it's okay. That's a commit. Wonder, do I do it now or do I wait? I think we wait, just in case he has something that is even bigger than this and that I want to deal with. And he could also play a Questing Beast, and then I could seal away this. Or we could just Settle the Wreckage, honestly. Yeah, probably Settle the Wreckage is what we're gonna go for. In case he top decks a way to turn on Clothes. Yes, opponent, keep on growing your Scavenging Ooze. Keep on doing it. Alright. Good for you. Can we go into the turn, please? Or do you want to take my Elspeth Conquers Death away? He does not want to do that. I mean, sure. Sure. You can take the Hieroglyphic Illumination. As long as you play a Questing Beast, opponent. Turn on this. Sad. Sad indeed. We're gonna seal away this Scavenging Ooze. And then based on what he does, we decide. Alright, he does not do anything, so I'm fine. Is he doing anything? Is this Heroic Intervention time? No Heroic Intervention. Alright, fine with me. Let's just commit this into his third from the top. And the interaction I mentioned to you, shuffle it away. He doesn't have Heroic Intervention, he would have probably used it, correct? See, now we shuffled away this Clothes, we don't have to worry about it anymore. So I'm quite happy about this turn of events. Alright, is this a... alright, it's nothing. We can now memory and then make our opponent shuffle all of his hand away. We draw a new hand. Quite a good combo. Alright, let's get Mind Stone. And now we could... I think I'm gonna wait a turn before going for it because I want to make the Shark Typhoon token. So we're just gonna play Mind Stone, and since this has Vigilance, we attack with it. It's okay. Now we pass to our opponent. See what he has in store for us. Is this Questing Beast time? Is this not Questing Beast time? What's happening, opponent? And the flood keeps on coming. Prowling Serpopod is fine. Let's just make our... we can make a 4/4 Shark Typhoon, which we are going to opt to do. And now we have an Aether Gust to deal with anything. We have an Aether Gust and an Absorb, although we're gonna actually shuffle all of this away. Let's just get our Mind Stone. Once again, play the Mind Stone. So tap here, Mind Stone. Let's Aether Gust this. And I think I can keep on waiting, guys, honestly. Like, this can't be countered, right? So like Absorb doesn't do anything. Let's just shuffle our library away. Alright, now we have a full grip of hands. He has one card. Quite happy about the situation. Let's just attack with our Kaheera in case he has a questing beast. Don't want to lose to that. And that should be enough to get us the win, correct? Feel like it's correct, honestly. And he did top deck the questing beast. See, holding this back was actually a smart decision. Alright. What is the play now? Probably the Elspeth Conqueror's Death, honestly, not a lot of better options. Elspeth Conqueror's Death, take this questing beast. And now we have the commit to memory line. We have the Shark Typhoon in case it doesn't do anything. We have a lot of options to say the least. A lot of options to say the least. Let's just, since I have the commit, I think I'm fine attacking with all of this because actually I'm not gonna attack with the shark just in case he draws double questing beast, which I had happened to me before. A reminder, guys, to stay hydrated in tense situations. I feel bad for my opponent. Like, he flooded a lot, to say the least. Like, a lot. Let's just cycle our Shark Typhoon. We can make a... I think we can make a 7/7 Shark Typhoon, which is quite good. Let's make... I pressed 8 because I am stupid. Let's make a 7/7 Shark Typhoon. Alright. Come to us 7/7 Shark Typhoon. I have a Censor, which we're probably gonna cycle, seeing how many lands opponent has. This is gonna opt him to activate Bonders and Cleave now. Do you want to go for it, opponent? I think you want to. Alright, you can go for it, that's fine with me. And we are going to attack with everything because we have the commit to memory to deal with anything problematic. And we are back in this, we can win next turn. Should have maybe not attacked with the 4/4 Shark Typhoon, but it's okay. Like, Bone Crusher Giant to our face is completely fine. Even if he plays it, I'm not gonna commit to memory. We can just win by attacking with the 7/7 Shark Typhoon. We're not pressured to doing anything. Completely fine, opponent, you can resolve that. Anything else you would like to resolve? Left Shark Beast can resolve also, we're fine with that. A 7/7 is all we need to win the game. Now his only out would be to activate Bonders and Cleave on my turn, draw a Bone Crusher Giant, and then hope that I do not have a counter spell. That's his only way to winning this game. So attack with a 7/7 Shark Typhoon. I want to see if he actually gets his out. If I counter his out, he's gonna feel quite bad. He did not get his out, he probably drew a land. I'm sorry for you, opponent. With that, let's go into our third game. Now, guys, I promise you that we're gonna get back into this game, and going back into this game, we are. Let's just stay hydrated and make good decisions and win. Now, I know that I've been playing only control this week, and mid-range mages, I'm very sorry for you. We're gonna have something interesting for you next week. So, I'm very happy about today. I'm very excited about today because my team Inter Milan actually made it to the finals of the Europa League. It's our first time making a final since the 2010-2011 season, and I'm quite excited about the finals. The finals is in about 2 hours from me recording this, so if you're here from the future and if I win, do make sure to tell me congrats. If I lost, please don't make fun of me because I'm probably already tilted. Alright, now I cut this hand based on the notion that we have a seal away, we have a commit to memory. We're in quite a good spot now. We have Censor in case he goes for Bone Crusher Giant. So like if he goes for it, I'm gonna censor that. He does not go for it. Does he go for a Questing Beast? Questing Beast? Not a Questing Beast, I meant a what was the card? It has 3-drop with Riot that has so yeah, it's just a 3-drop with Riot. That's all you need to know about it. But he does not have it, obviously. We have Seal Away that cannot stop a Questing Beast, but it's fine. You can always commit to memory the turn after this one. Please no Questing Beast. Left Shark Beast is fine. If anything, it's the Questing Beast I want to see. Ronas is quite okay just because we can get the Glass Casket. Let's just go into our turn. I could also seal away this, but I'd rather just do it now while he's tapped out. In case he has Heroic Intervention, come to us, Ronas. And then we have our Mind Stone. And now we have the option of playing Teferi plus Teferi. And then untap 2 lands, seal away this questing beast, this Love Struck beast, so I'm quite happy. Quite happy about our draws and our sequence of events. Now, let's see if our opponent does anything. Attacks us with the 1/1 is fine with me. Alright, let's just play our amazing planeswalker called Teferi, Hero of Control. Or like Hero of Dominaria, whichever dialect you want to pick. No time for a break indeed, Teferi. You are here to win us the game. Untap 2 lands, get this and this. And in case he doesn't have a Heroic Intervention, we are in an amazing spot to say the least. He has a Heroic Intervention, I'm a bit bummed because we lose our Teferi. But we are still quite ahead in the matchup, so I don't really mind. Does he have something in hand? Is it maybe 6 mana Chandra? He plays Gem Razor, so he can take care of the Glass Casket that is taking away Ronas from him. But I mean, it's a 2-for-1 if he does not have something to deal with the seal away. So he needs to have exactly Heroic Intervention now. I hope he doesn't have it. I really hope he doesn't have it. Let's just seal away. Alright, he attacks me. He doesn't attack me, he attacks Teferi. Although me and Teferi are actually one, so any damage he takes, I take as well. Please don't have Heroic Intervention. He does not have it. He does not have it. Alright, he has it. Oh, why did he have to have it? I wonder if I want a Hieroglyphic to deck for a future Wrath. I think we're gonna actually go for that time. Yeah, wanna deck for a Wrath. We do not find them. Alright, not in the best of spots to say the least. Okay, I did not expect Gem Razor into Heroic Intervention, but we still have the Shark Typhoon. I can make a Shark Typhoon for... Let's just make a quick calculation. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can get to kill this Love Struck beast that would stop the Ronas. Although we're taking quite a huge chunk of damage due to that, but I guess it's fine. Could also commit this Love Struck beast, but I think I'd rather take some damage and then keep the commit for the future. Does not play around Settle the Wreckage. I'm actually quite impressed. You would have played around Settle the Wreckage at this stage. Let's just cycle our Shark Typhoon. Make a 5/5 Shark. And now we get to block this Love Struck beast, and then that turns off the Ronas. Sure, we take a huge chunk of damage. He does not pump the Ronas, which tells me that there's a creature coming our way. Or maybe he just forgot that Ronas has an activated ability. No, there is a creature coming our way, and that creature is called Love Struck Beast. And we have an Absorb, which makes me quite happy. We have Absorb and Commit, so we can commit this Love Struck Beast, get rid of this whole problem. We can also Timely Enforcements. We could also Wrath of God, and then that turns off Ronas. Yeah, I think we just get Wrath of God, and then that turns off Ronas. Alright, Wrath of God. Now, Questing Beast is lethal off the top. Is it? Yeah, it is lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 9, and then he pumps once. It's not lethal, but it's very close to being lethal. Yes, we would be down to 1. Bonecrusher Giant is one of the spells that I do not mind him top decking. Because it's not lethal, we now have Commit to deal with it. Sure, we're going to be taking 5 due to Ronas, but it's fine with me. Do we Teferi plus? We do Teferi plus. It's a risky move, but I hope it's going to pay off.
Let's skip to the good part.
Let's skip to the good part indeed. Alright, so we're gonna do this, guys. Sorry for my background noise. It's due to the street I live in. I apologize for that. I think we're gonna not do anything. Thing is, if he attacks with his Ronas, I think we should probably play it a bit differently. This turn might have cost me the game, because now if he just pumps with Ronas, before he goes into combat we commit, Ronas can't attack, so we're fine. Let's just hope he doesn't have a counter spell, a Heroic Intervention. He does not have it. We're fine. We dodged a bullet. Alright, we dodged a bullet, guys. We dodged a bullet. We are back to this. Let's just plus Teferi. We might have lost that game, but we did not, so that's all that matters. Play our Fabled Passage. Correct our Fabled Passage. We could activate memory, but I don't think I want to go for that route quite yet. I think I'm fine waiting. We can activate our Castle Ardenvale, go into our end step, untap our Castle Ardenvale, and then we're good. Alright, untap Castle Ardenvale, untap a plains. Now we have a counter spell for any shenanigans he might have. In case it doesn't do anything, we have our Shark Typhoon token. This game seems like it's ours to take. Yep, it is ours to take, and that's it. Opponent does not want to see anything. So guys, I wanted to thank you a lot for watching. If you did enjoy this gameplay, please do consider subscribing because it helps the channel a lot. Beyond that, if you want to help the channel, you can check out the Patreon link in my description down below. Now, speaking of patrons, I wanted to thank them because they are the ones making my content possible, and a huge shout out to Mark Mack. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to see my cool decks that you're gonna see next week. Wish me luck for the finals, and with that, I'll see you guys next time.